Hi friends, welcome or welcome back. My name is Sherry and this is Sherry's Shelves. Today I am bringing you my top 10 favorite list of romance and romantasy books. Most of the books on this list are going to be contemporary romance. There are a couple of romantasy books on this list. I don't typically read romance. However, I've been gravitating towards it a little bit more, and I have been reading a couple of romantasy books just to try and gauge what it is that I like in romantasy, because it is something that I look for a certain thing in romance and I look for a certain thing in fantasy, and it's difficult to combine those two things together. Not difficult to do it, but difficult to find it, I think. So I am very excited to bring you this list. I will link all of the books in the description so you can get a better idea of what they're about, because I'm going to go through this list kind of quickly. I don't want this to be a long video. I am pretty much just going to say, this is the book, here's a little bit what it's about. If you're interested, click on the link below. Okay, let's get into the books. Number 10 is Arcana Academy by Elise Kova. This book is about Clara Greysword, who is imprisoned in the beginning of this book for inking her own tarot cards. Tarot cards in this world wield their own magical abilities. She is visited in prison by the headmaster of Arcana Academy, Prince Kalis, and he offers her a way out of prison for a price. I really enjoyed this book a lot. I thought the world was really interesting. The magic system was intricate, but also very unique. I do plan to reread this before the second book comes out, and take a little bit more time with it. I read through it rather quickly because I think, like I said in my newbie tag video, I have an issue with scheduling way too many things to do for myself, and this I wanted to finish in 2 days, which is not a good choice. I would recommend taking your time with this book because there is so much involved in it. I thought it was really good. Number 9 is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. This is a YA rom-com about a girl named Liz who is trying to get the attention of a boy named Michael, who is a longtime crush of hers. Her annoying neighbor Wes is friends with Michael, so she asks Wes for help. And then there's just kind of hilarity and shenanigans and really good banter in this book. A lot of 90s movie references, which I personally loved. This is the first in the series. I have not continued in it, but I do plan to continue with it at some point whenever I end up finally getting to it. I'm really bad with series, so I mean, we'll see whenever I get to it, but I do plan on getting to it at some point. Okay, I needed to reposition myself. My legs were falling asleep. Number 8 is The Exception to the Rule by Christina Lauren. This really surprised me. This book is only around 100 pages long. It's so cute. This is about an accidental email that is sent on Valentine's Day that connects a boy and a girl, and then they end up emailing each other back and forth multiple years after that initial email. They have rules set in place, like no pictures and no real names, but as the years go by, it seems like those rules are breaking, and just the way that this packed so much punch into 100 pages, I was giggling and tearing up, and it was so sweet. I have not read anything else by Christina Lauren. This makes me feel like I have to, like I have to just try more if I liked a 100-page book as much as I like this one. Number 7 is P.S. I Love You by Lauren Connolly. I just finished this the other day, so it's a little sneak peek into my August wrap-up. This is about Maddie Sanderson. Her brother just passed away, and he left her a letter asking her to spread his ashes across 8 different places that he didn't get a chance to go to. The catch is that he wants her to go with Dominic, who is a previous love interest that kind of broke her heart. So this is a second chance romance. This again was super cute. Really good banter in this. I really enjoyed the places that they went and the things that Josh, her brother, had them do while they were there. It was very thoughtful. I do tend to really gravitate towards books that have, like, where grief is like one of the main themes in it. So this one I definitely loved. Trigger warnings for this, if you need them, I would look them up, because there are some like triggering things in here. I think I read this for Kayla's buzzword challenge, cover challenge. I think because of transportation, I could be wrong about that. It could be a different challenge. I have so many challenges going on that I get them mixed up all the time. Would definitely recommend this one though if the trigger warnings and stuff aren't an issue. Number 6 is Do I Know You by Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broca. I hope I said that right. This is a story about Eliza and Graham. They have been married for 5 years. They are having some issues, but they are on their way to a hotel for their anniversary. It was a gift from, I believe, her mother-in-law. Whenever they get there at the hotel, they they find out that there is accidentally 2 rooms booked. And because they're not getting along currently, they decide to be on this vacation by themselves and sleep in separate rooms. They end up running into each other in the bar, and a guy that Graham is talking to at the bar introduces Graham to Eliza, and they just start pretending like they don't know each other, and they are trying to rekindle their relationship that way. This book made me laugh so much. Me and my husband have been married for almost 20 years, so I could kind of relate to this, like having issues and needing to try to work things out sometimes. And I kind of admire the creativity and pretending like you don't know somebody to try and rekindle and respark that connection that you have with somebody. I have read more from Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broca. This one by far was definitely my favorite. Number 5, sorry, I'm trying not to chuckle, is Butcher and Blackbird by Brynn Weaver. Anybody who knows me would be surprised by this. This was spicy. And let me tell you, the audiobook, the narrator, I can't remember his name, but the guy that narrates the Rowan, it's about Rowan and Sloane. It's the first book in the Ruinous Love trilogy, in case you haven't heard of it. The guy that narrates Rowan's voice, I was like, whew. It's Irish, Scottish, I'm not really sure. I don't care. It was good. It's kind of in my lane. I do need to continue this series, yet again, another series that I haven't continued with. It's probably something in the future that I'm going to focus on and do some reading vlogs on, to try and catch up in some of these series. But again, trigger warnings, I would look them up if you have to, but I did have a really fun time reading this one. I'm surprised that whenever I made this list, that this one ended up being lower than I thought it would be. But this so far has been my favorite romantasy that I've read. It is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I love Violet and Zayden so much. Everything about this book, I just loved it. I have all of them. I am caught up on this. I will probably continue to read each book in this series as soon as it comes out. I can't wait for the next one. I think with romantasy, I think the thing that I like the most is, yes, you have a solid romance, a believable romance, a romance that is full of banter, and I personally don't care about the spice as much, but it also has to have a really strong fantasy plot. And whenever you add dragons into it, I'm kind of sold, especially whenever it has like the strong animal companionship that this one has. And I have the original edition also. I was very surprised that I actually went to a couple different places trying to find this original edition with the dragons on the side. Is the writing good? Meh. But you just got to kind of go along for the ride with this one, because they are Violet and Xaden are everything. And the dragons. I love this one so much. Can't wait for the next one to come out. Okay, we're getting down to the last three. This was really difficult because some of these, I feel like if you ask me on a different day, they might be in a different order. But number 3 is Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I read this through NetGalley. I got an arc of it. Say You'll Remember Me, I don't currently have a copy of because I have some of her other books that I've loved in paperback as well, and I want them all to match on my shelf. This is about Xavier and Samantha. Xavier is a veterinarian. Samantha goes into Xavier's office with a kitten that needs attention, that needs veterinary help, and he isn't very nice to her. So she goes home, and then he realizes the mistake that he made. And whenever they start getting to know each other a little bit, they start really seeming like they have a connection. They spend one night together, and then Samantha needs to leave because her mom is not doing very well. So she has to go hundreds of miles away from where they're at. I think Milwaukee, Missouri, somewhere like that. Anyways, from the Midwest to California where her family is. And Xavier just can't forget about her, and she can't really forget about him. They continue talking. They try to work everything out. The book was so emotional for me. It made me cry so much. I loved it. I loved every second of it. It's just a fantastic book. Like I said, if you ask me any other day, this might be number 2 or it might be number 1. But yeah, I really loved this one, and I love Abby Jimenez's writing. Number 2 is Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone. This is another book that made me cry almost instantly. This is about a girl named Lenny who loses her best friend, Lou, to cancer. And she needs to try and pick up the pieces of herself because she's grieving and trying to figure out how to navigate herself back to where she was before. She decides to take a job babysitting this little girl named Ainsley. And Ainsley's Uncle Miles is kind of an interesting character. He kind of sees right through what she's going through and pretty much tells her that he can help her live again. She has a list of things that she wants to do, things that she never got to do with her best friend, and he helps her with that. Again, this is another one. If you have trigger warnings, please look them up. But this just kind of hit me in all the right places. This is kind of what I love out of a romance book. You give me something that people are trying to overcome or battle through, and a love interest that's trying to help them get through that, which is relatable. I think that with romance, the relatable things tend to be what people like. I could be wrong on that, but that's just my perception of it. Yeah, I really love this one. So if you like Abby Jimenez, then I would absolutely recommend this book. I want to read more from Cara Bastone in the future. Again, I haven't read any more since this one, but I definitely want to check out her backlist at some point. Okay, last book on the list, and what is currently, at least in my brain, my absolute favorite romance book is Just for This Summer by Abby Jimenez. This book is the 3rd book in the Part of Your World trilogy. The first one obviously was Part of Your World. The second one is Yours Truly, and then this one. They are just connected by characters, so you could read whichever one and not having read the others. I did obviously like the other 2 or I wouldn't have continued, but this one just kind of topped the other 2 for me personally. This one is about Justin and Emma. Justin thinks he has a curse and goes to talk about it on Reddit. He says that every time he breaks up with a girl, or a girl breaks up with him, they end up going on to find their soulmate. And Emma feels the same way. She feels like every time her and her boyfriend break up, they go on to find their, one true love. So they end up finding each other on Reddit and start talking about it. And then they decide that maybe if they date each other for a week and then break up, then they'll both find, or at least one of them will find their soulmate. This this again has fantastic banter. I feel like Abby Jimenez does banter so well, and her character work is done really well. So this is fantastic. Some of the mental health issues that they touch on in this book, I could relate to personally. That is my top 10 favorite romance books, romantasy books. I have a few honorable mentions. I'm not going to say what they're about, but I will say that these weren't 5-star books for me, but I feel like it's still worth mentioning because all of them are romantasy books that were so close to being favorites. The Wolf King by Lauren Palferman, I think that's how you say her last name. Silver Elite by Danny Francis. Quicksilver by Callie Hart. Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. And I am about halfway through Anathema by Carrie Lake, and I feel like that one, it might end up being a 5-star, but I'm kind of feeling right now like it's maybe more like a 4 or 4.5. So if you're interested in any of those, I will have, or any of the ones that I've talked about, I will list everything down in the comments, just links from Goodreads. If you have any recommendations, please leave them below. I have a couple of other videos out, a top 10 spooky books and top 10 sci-fi fantasy. If you are interested in either one of those, I will have those also posted, and I will see you next time. Bye.